What if the most powerful thing you could say was nothing at all? What if calculated, deliberate silence was the one thing that completely shifted her perception of you? You were open. You were vulnerable. You gave her access to the deepest parts of you. Attention, love, presence. You tried to fix things. You reasoned. You pleaded. Maybe you even sent that one last message, hoping she'd finally see the real you. But she didn't. She left. Not with tears. Not with regret. She walked away like you never even mattered. But here's what you need to understand. She didn't leave because you lacked value. She left because she thought she had you figured out. You were predictable, safe, always available. She believed you'd always be there, waiting. And the moment a woman thinks she truly knows you, when there's no mystery left, she stops feeling drawn to you. That's human psychology. And deep down, you already know this. So what happens when that predictability is shattered? When the version of you she thought she understood suddenly goes silent? Not out of anger, but out of strength. She starts to wonder. Then she starts to worry. And eventually, she starts to regret. This isn't about revenge. This isn't about playing games. This is about reclaiming your power. Because the truth is, most men don't know how to handle heartbreak. They reach out. They overshare. They spiral. But the Stoic man, he does none of that. The Stoic doesn't chase closure. He doesn't seek validation. He lets silence speak for him. And in doing so, he becomes a force she never saw coming. You're about to step into that version of yourself, the quiet, grounded, emotionally unshakable man who doesn't beg for attention because he's too busy mastering his own presence. This video is your guide. 10 steps, 10 shifts, each rooted in Stoic philosophy and deep psychological principles. You won't say a word. You won't break your frame. But by the end of this, she'll feel your absence like gravity. If you're ready to stop being the one who cares more, if you're ready to become untouchable, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment below. My silence speaks louder than words. Now, let's begin. 1. Stillness is authority. The moment you go silent, everything shifts. At first, she feels relief, like the drama is over, like she won. She expects the usual, a few days of silence, followed by a late-night text. A "hey, just checking in." A long, emotional message pouring your heart out. But when that message never comes, when the phone stays silent, when your name disappears from her notifications, that's when the real shift begins. Confusion replaces confidence. Did he really just walk away? Is he already over it? Was I not worth fighting for? These thoughts don't hit all at once. They build, slowly, in the same silence she thought she wanted. And this is where Stoicism shines. You're not ignoring her out of bitterness. You're choosing detachment. You're not giving her the satisfaction of knowing where you stand. You're reclaiming your peace. You're no longer letting her control your emotions. In Stoic philosophy, power lies not in reaction, but in restraint. You're not ghosting her. You're ascending. You've pulled back your energy, your attention, your presence. And that, more than any speech, more than any grand gesture, makes her feel your value. Here's the truth. People don't miss you because you yell louder. They miss you when your silence echoes in the space where your attention used to be. And that silence? That's your weapon. Used correctly, it's unforgettable. If you're done making decisions from a place of weakness, if you're ready to take back control, comment below. I master my emotions. They do not master me. 2. Control the narrative. When she walked away, She believed she was in control. She thought she had the final say. She imagined you stuck, overanalyzing everything, while she moved on. But here's what she never expected: silence that doesn't seek closure. You didn't fight her decision. You didn't beg her to stay. You didn't flood her phone with explanations. And that's what flips the entire dynamic. Now, she doesn't know what to believe. Was he really hurt? Did he care at all? Did I even matter? The more she questions, the more your silence starts to look like strength. Here's the truth: people create their own version of you when you're gone. And when you refuse to defend yourself, when you don't clarify, chase, or explain, she's forced to fill in the blanks. That uncertainty? That's psychological pressure. Stoicism teaches us that perception is everything. And by refusing to explain yourself, you control how you're perceived. You become the man she can't figure out. And in the absence of clarity, her mind starts looping. The story she thought she controlled, it starts slipping through her fingers. She might try to provoke you. She might post something. She might test you, just to see if you'll crack. But you won't, because you've already taken back the one thing she thought she owned: your story. You've gone from the emotional wreck to the man who disappeared without a trace, leaving behind a silence louder than any goodbye. If you're done letting her write your story, if you're ready to become the man she can't stop thinking about, comment below. I own my silence, and I own my story. 3. Absence creates presence. Most men think that staying on her mind means staying in her life, liking her posts, sending friendly texts, keeping the door open. Nope, that's not presence. That's desperation disguised as loyalty. Real presence, the kind that lingers in her thoughts, comes from absence. When you're truly gone, she starts to feel the space you used to fill. And the mind? It hates empty spaces. It fixates, it obsesses. When you remove yourself completely, something strange happens. She starts noticing things she once ignored. That song you showed her, that restaurant you always ate at, that inside joke that suddenly doesn't feel so funny anymore. Your absence becomes a mirror, and in it, she sees everything she lost. Not just the man, but the safety, the attention, the depth you brought. You didn't just walk away. You took the entire emotional framework she leaned on. This is scarcity psychology at work. What's always available is always taken for granted. But what disappears without warning? That's what sticks. That's what flips the attraction switch. You no longer exist in her physical world. So now, you exist in her mental one. And that's where the real game is played. She thought she needed space? Give her more than she can handle. Create a vacuum so powerful that her thoughts get pulled into it. Be the absence that lingers. Be the silence she starts resenting. That's how you become unforgettable. If you're done begging for attention, if you're ready to become the man she can't stop thinking about, comment below. My absence is unforgettable. 4. Let her sit in the void. Most men feel the urge to fix the silence. They panic. If I don't say something, she'll forget me. Nope. That's not logic talking. That's weakness. That's fear. Here's the truth. When you leave her in the void, the silence she created, she has no choice but to feel the consequences of her decision. She walked away. She broke it off. So now, she gets to sit in the emptiness of that choice. And you don't save her from it. This is where most men lose their power. They rush back to relieve the tension. They send a message. They throw her an emotional lifeline, hoping for crumbs of connection. But when you do that, You rob her of the most powerful emotion you could ever give her: uncertainty. A stoic man doesn't just walk away, he stays gone. He doesn't try to make her feel better about losing him. He lets her feel it. And that's where regret is born. That's where obsession starts. You're not being heartless. You're being disciplined. You're not punishing her. You're refusing to rescue someone who left you drowning. That silence you're holding, it's not just a power move. It's a mirror. And eventually, she'll have to look into it. She'll feel the weight of what she lost. And by the time she reaches out, you'll already be miles ahead. Calmer, colder, stronger. If you're done chasing people who let go of you first, if you're ready to let the silence do the talking, comment below. I do not chase. I replace. 5. Stop proving your worth. One of the biggest traps men fall into after a breakup: the need to prove they were good enough. They hit the gym out of spite. They post stories to look unbothered. They send messages, hoping to remind her of what she lost. But here's the hard truth. If you're still trying to prove your worth to someone who walked away, you haven't realized it yet. You were already enough. She just couldn't see it. And now, it's not your job to convince her. A stoic man knows his value. He doesn't perform for approval. He doesn't broadcast his progress. He moves in silence, not to impress her, but because he's building a life that doesn't revolve around her validation. And that shift from seeking validation to embodying value is when everything changes. When she no longer sees you trying to get her attention, her curiosity turns into anxiety. Why isn't he trying anymore? Did he forget me? That's the beginning of her downfall. Not because you wanted revenge, but because you stopped trying to earn something that should have never needed earning. Dark psychology calls this reverse reinforcement. When you remove the attention she was addicted to, it forces her to chase it again. But now, it's no longer on your terms. You've stopped auditioning for a role in her life. You've walked off the stage. And now, the spotlight's on her. If you're done trying to prove your worth to someone blind to it, if you're ready to embody silent power, comment below. I need no validation. I am the standard. 6. Rebuild in the shadows. The most dangerous man isn't the one who posts about his grind, not the one flexing his healing journey online. It's the one who says nothing, yet changes everything. You want to make her miss you? Don't try to be seen. Be felt. Let her wonder. Where is he? What is he doing? Who is he becoming? This is where you rebuild. In silence. In solitude. In the shadows. You take all that pain, all that rejection, and you forge it into something lethal. Discipline. Clarity. Peace. And not that fake peace that comes from distractions, but the kind that comes from confronting your own darkness and refusing to stay broken. Stoicism isn't about pretending nothing hurts. It's about owning the pain, then using it as fuel. While she's out looking for comfort, you're in the trenches, building a version of yourself that no longer needs her. And here's the twist. She'll feel it. She won't know what changed, but she'll sense it. That energy she once drained, no longer available. That access she abused, gone. And now, she's locked out of a kingdom she used to rule. That's how you shift the power, without saying a word. If you're done announcing your growth, if you're ready to let your absence speak for itself, comment below. I rebuild in silence. My comeback makes the noise. 7. Emotionally unavailable. On purpose. She used to have full access to your emotions. A text, a post, a memory. That's all it took to pull you in. But now, she gets nothing. No response. No emotion. No crack in the armor. You've become emotionally unavailable. But not out of trauma. Out of choice. You've turned off the faucet she used to drink from. And now, she's thirsty for attention she can't reach. This isn't about being cold. It's about mastering control. You don't deny your emotions. You own them. You feel everything. You just don't show everything. Stoicism teaches your emotions are yours, not hers to manipulate. The moment you stop reacting to her, the game ends. The leash is cut. She can throw bait all day, but you don't bite. You've become unreadable. And that mystery? That drives her insane. Dark psychology works in silence. When she can't decode you, she starts creating stories in her head. Is he with someone else? Is he over me? Did I ever mean anything at all? And that spiral? That's what happens when you remove emotional availability from someone who once had it on demand. You're not withholding out of pain. You're protecting your peace. Because now, not everyone deserves access to your emotions, especially not the ones who threw them away. If you're done letting her play with your heart like a switch, if you're ready to guard your peace with silence, comment below. I give my emotions to no one who hasn't earned them. 8. Never break your frame. She will test you. Bet on it. Maybe she'll like an old picture. Maybe she'll send a vague message like, "Hope you're doing okay." Maybe she'll show up where she knows you'll be. That's not coincidence. That's bait. Most men fail here. They break frame. They react. They take the bait, thinking it means she cares. Nope. She's not reaching out because she misses you. She's reaching out to see if she still controls you. Your frame is everything. It's your posture, your energy, your boundaries. It's the calm in your voice, the look in your eyes that says, I don't chase. I don't flinch. I don't break. A stoic man holds the line. No matter how tempting the moment, no matter how familiar the pull, he doesn't bend to emotion. He watches. He observes. He remains still. Why? Because control isn't about dominating her. It's about never letting her dominate you. Every time you stay silent when it's easier to react, you strengthen your frame. Every time you ignore bait disguised as care, you gain ground. And the stronger you stand, the more she starts to question hers. She thought you were fragile. She thought she knew your weakness. But the man you are now? Untouchable. This isn't about ego. It's about discipline. You don't respond to tests. You don't chase closure. You hold the frame and let her collapse under her own confusion. If you're done breaking character for temporary attention, if you're ready to become unshakable, comment below. My frame is iron. Nothing shakes me. 9. Let her wonder, not know. Clarity kills attraction. The more she knows, the less she feels. That's why every time you explain yourself, update her on your life, or post for her attention, you lose leverage. Curiosity creates obsession. If she knows what you're doing, who you're with, how you're feeling, there's no mystery left. She gets to relax. She gets to move on. But if you say nothing, if you vanish without drama, without updates, her mind does the work. Is he seeing someone else? Did he stop caring? Is he even hurting? You don't give her the answer. You let her live in the question. That uncertainty breeds tension, and tension breeds attraction. It's not manipulation, it's nature. The brain craves resolution. When it can't find it, it loops. That's what keeps you in her head long after you've left her life. The Stoic doesn't announce every move. He moves quietly, unpredictably, without explanation. That's why people remember him, because he's not available for their assumptions. You want her to miss you? Then stop giving her the data to feel secure. Let her imagination do the chasing. If you're done giving closure at the cost of your power, if you're ready to become the mystery she can't solve, comment below. I let them wonder. I owe no explanations. 10. When you no longer want her, here's the final shift, and it's the one she never sees coming. It's not when you ignore her. It's not when you go silent. It's not even when you level up. It's when you genuinely, fully, and quietly no longer want her. Not out of anger, not as a tactic, but because you've outgrown the version of yourself that needed her in the first place. At first, your silence hurts her ego, but this shakes her soul. She feels it, not just the absence, but the disinterest. You're not watching her stories. You're not reacting to her tests. You're not in the shadows, hoping for a sign. You're just gone, moved on, detached. She thought your silence was a game. Now she realizes it's who you've become. This is the final stage of Stoic power. Indifference, not coldness, not bitterness, just freedom. When she senses she no longer lives in your mind, that she no longer carries any emotional weight, that's when the regret kicks in. Because now, even if she comes back, you're not waiting. You're not interested. The tables haven't turned. You've burned them. And in the ashes, you built something stronger. Peace. You didn't just make her miss you. You became the man she'll never get back. And that's the real win. If you're done needing her to come back, if you're ready to become the version of yourself who no longer wants what once broke him, comment below. I don't want her back. I want my peace. You wanted the formula to make her miss you without saying a word? You just got it. 10 moves, 10 shifts, all grounded in silence, discipline, and power. But here's what most won't tell you. This wasn't about getting her back. This was about getting you back. Because once you become the man who no longer needs to be heard, who no longer needs to be chosen, who no longer waits for someone who walked away, you become the man everyone notices, but no one can control. The silence wasn't to hurt her. It was to heal you. The absence wasn't revenge. It was rebirth. And now, you're not chasing. You're not proving. You're not explaining. You're just being. Calm, collected, untouchable. She might come back. She might not. But that's not your concern anymore. You're not sitting in that old chapter hoping it changes. You're writing a new story. One where you're not the one getting left. You're the one rising. If this hit different, if you felt that shift, show it. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Never miss a tactic that keeps you grounded and in control. And drop a final comment below. I choose power over pain, peace over people. Stay silent, stay solid, stay stoic. This is Stoic Blessing. I'll see you in the next one.